Hello. The supporters of a Somerset woman who's allergic to modern life say she's being killed by neglect. Gillian McCarthy has been in a home which was supposed to be temporary, but 10 years on, she's still there.
She suffers from multiple chemical sensitivity and has been living in huts on an organic farm near Wincanton. She's now facing the possibility of eviction, as Adrian Lane reports.
Tucked away on a Somerset field in this ramshackle hut, Gillian McCarthy's waiting to be found a permanent home, just as she has been for the past 10 years. This is a list of things that Gillian's allergic to. It includes aftershave, deodorant, shampoo. I've made sure my cameraman and I have done our best to comply with these conditions. Gordon D McHendry, who also suffers from multiple chemical sensitivity, is visiting Gillian for the first time. Under his supervision, we got a glimpse of how she lives.
That is appalling. That is an absolute bloody disgrace that any human being should have to live like that in this day and age.
Won't give the treatment.
This woman has been murdered by neglect, basically.
Gillian's supporters are desperate for her to receive help.
Everything was temporary for 5 months, which might have been acceptable. I mean, this is worse than the worst slums you ever see. We're all now carrying an enormous burden of man-made chemicals which were unknown 50 years ago, and it's a matter of a genetic lottery whether you have the genes that are going to make you like Gillian.
So, Gordon, this is the kitchen, which is very small, very basic.
Yeah, absolutely, yeah. And as you can see, Gillian has no lighting, in fact no electricity at all, so there's no heating. And also she has no water, no drinking water in particular.
When Gillian was airlifted to the site by Noel Edmonds in 1996, she was positive the move would help ease her condition.
So here, the site is obviously going to be a good one for me at last.
On agreeing to an interview through her window, it's clear she thinks differently today.
If they had built the house in 1997, I would have been in it for 9 years by now. I'd have been back in my career, and I wouldn't have needed anything like much treatment, and I wouldn't have been through hell for 10 years.
Gillian has undergone medical tests, but she's lodged a complaint with the Health Service Ombudsman against Somerset Primary Care Trust over whether or not she's agreed to independent medical assessments. In a statement, the Trust said it was fulfilling its duty of care to Gillian, but to carry out an assessment of the medical treatment she needs is dependent on the person's agreement. South Somerset District Council is no longer duty-bound to help, but it has found 3 alternative sites to which Gillian could move next year, now the temporary permission on her huts has elapsed.
We're still trying to solve the problem of her accommodation. It isn't, as I say, a question of denying that she is suffering from multiple chemical sensitivity. It's merely a fact of to what degree, and to what degree will that affect where she lives.
Gillian may get her wish to leave, but that could only be if councillors decide whether to serve an eviction notice on her. For now, the stopgap has become a dead end. Adrian Lane for West Country News.
Well, Gordon McHendry, who you saw in that report, joins us now. Gordon, it's incredible that 10 years on, Gillian is still in this dire situation. What do you think the future is for Gillian?
Well, frankly, I don't think Gillian has much of a future. I mean, she's there in that shack presently with no water, no drinking water, no running water. She has no electricity, no lighting, no heating. And whether she will still in fact be alive tomorrow morning is anyone's guess. If there's another severe frost tonight, the chances are very good that Gillian won't in fact survive another night there. You know, she certainly won't survive another winter there.
Gillian's situation is obviously very grave, but you suffer with this condition as well. How do you cope? What was done to help you?
Well, actually, nothing's been done to help me either. I mean, I had to spend 6 years living in my garden shed at one point. This is why I'm able to resonate and sympathise so much with Gillian. But basically, there is no help out there. I mean, you're walking, you know, a tightrope, basically, with this, and you've just got to survive as best you can by yourself, by getting educated and finding out as much as you can about the illness.
And do you think in the future
and
more
just
people...
survive as you can.
Do you think in the future more people will have to find out about this illness, because as a whole society is becoming more allergic to modern day life with lots of chemicals in the atmosphere, etc.?
That's right. I mean, the proliferation of synthetic chemicals into every nook and cranny of our life now is just incredible. I mean, there's a huge time bomb just ticking away there. And yeah, people really have to educate themselves just the ubiquitous nature of chemicals, how they're affecting almost every aspect of our health, really.
OK, Gordon McHendry, thank you very much for joining us.